Alright, hi. Just doing the finesse of the back end of it. Wasn't sure which screen I was on. I'm not even sure where this is going live to. Um, where is it going live to my um, profile, as well as at the same time into my new group, which I've still got as closed. I haven't been able to work out yet how to change a group from closed to public. I'm just going to move that just a tiny tad. I can't quite work that one out. And I've been looking. So I was just a tiny bit late. And then when I went to come on, it was the my screen here, this camera wasn't focusing in. So I'm not sure what I was doing wrong there. Doesn't matter. So whoops, just tidying up that. It's just a little bit cool this morning. We've got beautiful rain happening, and it's it's wonderful. Now I'm going to go to the solo screen because the idea of this is to do a short reading, and I'm doing the Lenormand, the daily spread that I've been practicing and used to. Now I'm looking at this. I have actually got my iPad on, and what I can't bring these comments to screen because I've actually posted it in the wrong place. So at the moment, I've got the actual source in the closed group, which is where I get the comments fed into, and it's not quite working. I have to sort this out today, so it's all right. Going to the screen now, and this is what the daily spread is that I had in the actual post on my timeline, the Boundy timeline. So I'm seeing here that I do have some comments. Hi, Shaz. I've got Tony and John. Hi, Estelle, Joy, and well, thanks for sharing too, Shaz. Because I've got the source in the wrong place, I actually can't do the bring the comments onto screen. At least I don't think. I'll just have a looky see. No, I can't because it's in the wrong spot. We learn sometimes through some of the mistakes that we make. So what I'm doing here, it is following this same setup there. I'm not sure whether I should move the camera from there around to where I had it over there or not, which I might do. Sorry for the quick movement. And I'll just bring it there because to me, it's a bit easier having it that way. And then I'm not bending my neck all the time, swiveling around like that. Okay, thank you. What we've got to start with is the first pair goes up to there is to someone that I'll meet through the day. It's just interpretations as I see it. Take from the cards what you enjoy and like from them. And we've got the man and the birds, which both of these are the ones from the expanded edition. The extras that sort of add a bit more depth. So it's actually referring to an older man. And the more wise factor of that, I think it's more to do with the experience and what is coming through from that. There'll be something that's going to be shared that is really worth listening to because it's actually got some good sense in it. We have the mice at 23 and the scythe at 10. And that's in the position of someone that I care about and what they'll do. So I think it's more to do with hunting out and getting rid of the weeds, getting rid of the vermin, that connection there. As we can see, mice tend to be around the line of, loss of things and the rest. And the scythe is actually cutting off things because that's what they do. It is, it's a big knife. So seeing that that's what they'll be doing is actually cleaning out and cutting out some of the stuff that's not necessary. I know for me that could be some things around the house here today that I have some help with, being that Tony's here. Now 3 is someone who annoys you, what they'll do, and it's the lilies is around peace, and 20 like 30, and 20 is park or garden. I my mind immediately goes to picnics and football, that sort of stuff with family out in the parks, parkland type areas. Now, whether that's just getting in a group with someone and there's going to be some interesting discussions, what I'm feeling with that one, that there might be some things that is talking about, creating the peace somewhere. In the position of 4, we've got something that'll console me. The mountains at 20 is 21 and 35 is the anchor. Mountains is pretty much about, wow, we're going to have a downpour. Whether you can hear that or not, I don't know, but I just love the sound of the rain. Whether well, you might be able to hear it or not. Mountains have blocks sometimes. Mountains can be a struggle, but also once you get to the top of mountains, you're actually going to have that vista, that sense of achievement and that type of thing too. And the anchor is when you're out boating. It's like when you're going to have something actually firm itself in and create that time so that something can be done with a bit more focus. That's what I'm seeing, because for me, it's telling me that I'm going to have a quite a bit of productive time where, yes, there is some work involved in it. Of course, Friday is a bit of a work day for me. Half of it is. The other half is play on a fortnightly basis. So that's what's going to console me. There'll be the rewards at the end by gaining the peak of the mountain. And in the centre line of this 9-card spread, and I'll just move them over a bit just to get the focus again so that you can see them a bit better. I'm hoping that does do it all right. Takes a bit for the iPad to catch up. There is a time delay between when I do something this end and the other. And hi, Jessica as well, and Chris, Diane. It's lovely seeing the names there in the list. I'm assuming this is actually going to my profile, so it is out in the public still, so that's fine. I'll work out the group settings a bit later. Still new at the group stuff, so I think that's sorting itself out with where I've positioned it. Oops, I just bumped it. Now I've got up to the centre, which is the heart of 24, and 26 is the book. So, and that being something that awaits me, well, I do have a lot of study that I'm catching up on. I love study. Anyone that knows me has been aware of. Been into book study and being a perpetual student, so that's going to be a continuing onwards. And I just really enjoy doing that. So part of my day will be that as well. So it does await me, and it then moves on to something that'll help me, which 41 is the well, 31 is the sunshine, or the sun. So 41 is going deeper into looking into whatever is involved. And with this one, it's actually seeing what are the positives. The sun is actually successful, fortunate. It's the yang energy. It's that getting the sun. Well, the sunshine is warm and it's happy usually. In this instance, that's what I'm feeling. It's just that bright light side of what is, and for hearing the rain outside, part of that too. So that's something that'll help me today. Just focusing, looking forward to that. That is going to be enlightened with the deeper look. At 7, we've got 43 is the labyrinth, and 17 is the stalks. And that's talking about something that might happen that surprises me today. Now, I've always loved games, and what surprises me with mazes, of course, is sometimes they can be easy, sometimes they can actually be quite difficult, where you come up against those dead ends quite often. So, and it just does take me back to that movie many, many years ago that had David Bowie in it. I loved it. Sort of a kid's movie, but had its dark side of it too. I really loved it. And it just reminds me of that, the adventure of doing it, doing a maze, the surprise, the where am I going to be next when you go turn around that corner. And of course, the stalks, 17, that's about change and movement and getting things rearranged, that it's the preparation for something coming, which sometimes is a baby, which is sometimes a project that you're planning comes to. You're planning for it, and it involves change and moving things around. So that's a bit of movement, and what might happen to surprise me, it could be I find that I have actually got that prize today. And I'll just move that over a little bit, hoping, whoops, there's my arm in that one. I'm hoping that the camera will move around. Yeah, it's a beautiful labyrinth, isn't it, Jessica? And hi, Kathy and Raj. I don't know whether that moved. Yeah, there's that delay factor. So now at position 6, we have, oh, it does also reveal some of the little bit of junky stuff down there. I'm going to move it a little bit. I have a small office that still isn't fully rearranged like I'd like it. And that could be something to do with the stalk too. I might actually get some of that done today. Who knows? Clouds, this is something I desire whether it'll happen or not. And there's the clouds. I like the clouds because it does show, sometimes we do experience our darkness, but it does always move out into the brightness, and you see the birds flying. You've got the beautiful, it almost looks like the silver lining in the clouds in this one that I'm seeing today. And if I'm talking too fast, let me know. Hi, Sandra. And this is coupled with the Younger Man, which is the original one out in the Lenormand deck. So, whether I do actually get to see one of my sons again today, it was a surprise the other day. He did drop in. It was a little bit of a hint on my phone, but it was fine. So whether that's something that will surprise me again today, something that I desire to. In all of that, all of the cards do actually have a bit of a combination story anyway, because that's how we read it. It's what our life's about. And over here in the key, I've got to stretch a bit too far, so ouch. We've got the key at 33, and the 11 is the whip. A key can open or close things, lock things. So what I'm seeing with this one, it's something nice. So in general, we probably like to unlock some of the things that we are looking into, whether it's unlocking a particular thought in a study process or just the aha moments that can sometimes happen. With the whip, that's actually more, it is to do with repetition and that type of thing. So maybe it does unlock that process for me in something that I might do as part of my study today, or part of the work, part of what I do today. Or it could just mean that, at some point because every fortnight I share wonderful time with a really good friend, and we spend the afternoon and some of the evening just playing games, spending that really fun time together, doing a takeaway for tea, and just having fun. And some of the games that we do play are a Yahtzee, a backgammon, and things like that. It's just spending time with someone special, as friendships, as the way you chatter and all the rest of it, can sometimes reveal things that you don't even realise. And that's part of those aha moments, the points where you might even win a game. And that's the whole story being blended in. It could be just talking about the afternoon and not the morning work I'm doing. I won't know until I do the reflection tonight and see what my end result is going to be for the day in the morning. Okay. Now I'm just going to go back to this camera, and I think I can show myself. Oh no, I've got that camera set up. I've got that camera set up for my Be Live TV. So I'll move it back to. Now, what have I done there? This one? Yes. And then I go to my eCam. This is where it can be a bit interesting. And I'll go back to that camera. Now, this is the one that's actually on the Mac. I'm quite open to any suggestions as we go along because of how the eCam can work in the background, can create different scenarios. Oh, dear. Somehow I've lost my sharing. Okay, wait a minute. I'm just going to move my camera. Sorry about any motion sickness anyone might get. For some reason, and I didn't click it, somehow my Ecamm did just stop sharing. So I've got to go back to doing that and bringing it up to the broadcast. I think obviously that might be something I report to BeLive. So I didn't want to spend too much time with this. It's now been, there it is. As you can see, I've got the two different cameras. I'll just do it like this. Does that go like that? Now, seeing them side by side is a good example just to get some ideas from you. I just saw the comment, Jessica. Amazing and great songs in it too. Oh, that's the Labyrinth. Yeah, you're referring to the Labyrinth movie. Oh, absolutely. There was beautiful songs. I just loved the creativity in some of the characters even. And that's really what I'm looking at, creating a character here, just looking at the different screens. The one that's the darker one is actually the camera that's connected into the iMac, like it is the computer camera. The one that's lighter is the one that was wobbling around, obviously. That is the C922 that I've recently purchased so that I can create the way I'm doing this. And it's the C920 on over the table, which when I can go back to my Ecamm, that should show up that's the shared one. Okay. So let me know what you actually think of the better camera to use, and if it's too much that I get too many not liking the Facebook one, the one on the Mac, I just won't have that as part of the setup. So lighter one is best. Yeah, sometimes I think the same too. So it does sit on the right. Yeah, thank you for that. Well, I'm going to leave it at that, and my ambition is still, or intention, it's still an ambition, is to do daily readings. Now, if it just happens that I don't get to it, I'll put a post in there at some point, and I'll try and work out how to actually get the closed group into being an open group, or if I have to keep it closed, well, just give me a hoy and I can give, to be a member of it. It's only mainly going to be this show as part of into that group is what my aim is, just so that people can go to a place where it's just the card readings, just so there's some method of learning by interpretation of a daily deck, whether it interests you or not. Anyway, ambition, intention. So thank you very much for being part of my show this morning. I'm very pleased to continue on with these as I can, and I'm hoping that it does help. Oh, whoops, that was supposed to be solo, yeah. I'm hoping that you gain something from it, and I look forward to tomorrow morning. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.